Welcome back.
Hey, Stanley,
Yeah, George?
how'd you like your own TV show?
Hey, I got something to mail you out.
Oh, you be careful now, you hear? Before you go and say something you're gonna regret for the rest of your days.
Like what? Like the wrong kid died?
Oh, no!
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of The Wrong Podcast Died. I'm Brian.
And I'm Rod.
And on this episode, we're going back to April 14th, 1989. Let's see, I would have been one day over 11 years old when this movie came out.
I would have been 10 and 1/3.
So the film we're covering on this episode is Say Anything. It's part of our Summer of Love. This is definitely a love story, but it reminds me a lot of the last film, The Graduate.
The Graduate, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how we didn't think this through much. I just wanted to cover Say Anything. I'm going to say it, I adore this film. I love this film. I'm not sure why I love this film, but I do. It's a Cameron Crowe film. It's probably my favorite Cameron Crowe film. I don't know what yours would be.
Almost Famous, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say that's another one. It had a longer runtime, and I think it was an hour and 41 minutes is what I got.
Yep.
On Hulu is where I watched it. It's not streaming for free anywhere that I could find.
And actually, probably by the time this recording comes out, it will be gone from Hulu unless they renew it, because it was on my expirations.
Had a budget of $13 million, did box office $20.5 million. It's not a comedy, so it's not going to be one of John Cusack's bigger budget films where it made a lot of money. There's the one where he is chased by the paper boy.
Yeah.
I want my $2. It's got Bobcat Goldthwait and then the guy from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what that's called. I don't remember.
Oh, Better Off Dead.
Better Off Dead, okay.
Yeah. He kind of had a weird look to him in the movie, too. Didn't you feel like he had he's like super young?
Yeah. So to go into why he looked a little different, because I don't know if you noticed on one of his eyebrows, he had a mark. He did that himself. It was part of his character, he thought. Like he got a rock thrown and he got stitches at some point.
Oh, Lord.
Some character background thing. But let me go through the cast real quick. So, of course, you got John Cusack as Lloyd Dobler. That's just a fucking cool name to me.
The Dobler.
The Dobler. The Dobler effect. Ione Skye as Diane Court. Now, something interesting about her is I don't know if you know the pop singer Donovan, who did Season of the Witch.
Must be the season of the witch. Must be the season of the witch, yeah.
Superman song.
I'll tell you right now, in a trick in a book, and now, baby, oh, that I can find.
That's his daughter. And John Mahoney as James Court. Some smaller parts, though, you had China Phillips, who played Mimi, who was like a side character. She's the daughter of John Phillips and Michelle Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas. And then you just had various other actors and actresses that became bigger over years, like Lily Taylor, Jeremy Piven, Bebe Neuwirth. I don't know if you know her from Cheers and Frasier.
Mm-hmm.
She was Frasier's wife and girlfriend.
She was the teacher?
She was that teacher who shows up at the Kager. That was the coolest thing ever. She gives her keys to him and then gives him advice.
Joan Cusack.
Yeah,
his
sister.
sister. Yeah, she was uncredited, but she was his real life sister.
Eric Stoltz. And Kim Walker, who you may recognize from the movie Heathers. She was like the leader of the Heathers.
Well, wasn't John Mahoney was the dad, James Court? He was in Frasier too. Wasn't he the dad in Frasier?
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, God, this guy looks familiar. I mean, he was in Barton Fink and Moonstruck, but I was like, God, he looks familiar. And that's the dad from Frasier. Let's give you a little synopsis before we get too far. I would hope most people have seen this, but this is not. Other than that clip of him holding the boombox, I don't feel like this is on most people's radar for 80s love, like 16 Candles and The Breakfast Club and stuff like that. This is not on that level for most people.
Well, I think I mentioned to you before, this is a first-time watch for me.
Wow. A charming underachiever, Lloyd falls for Diane, the high school valedictorian, the summer after graduation. As their unlikely romance deepens, Diane is torn between her love for Lloyd and loyalty to her overprotective father, whose secrets threaten to unravel everything. I don't feel like her dad was overprotective. I feel like he really pushed her and wanted her to maybe because of what we know in the film, to go away and have a really good job and make a lot of money. Because what we find out later in the film is he was swindling money from the nursing home that he ran. So the residents.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird how he got away with it for so long, though.
Yeah, like 6 or 7 years they had been investigating
Yeah.
him. So Diana's the valedictorian, and Lloyd has an eye for her. He's got these two friends, they're girls that kind of tell him not to, but he calls Diana up and he gets her to laugh. So, and she sounds like she's had a lot of gentlemen callers, people that want to take her out because, you know, they think she's attractive and she's super smart. She's going places. And they go to a party, and Lloyd becomes the key master. He's in charge of the keys.
Love that part. That's like one of my favorite parts.
Everybody just loves him. Hey, Lloyd. Hey, Dobler. Everybody knew him at the party. People were surprised to see her there. That's also where you see Eric Schultz.
Yeah, Eric Stoltz. Yeah, he's the guy running the party he's that old dude that is hosting these kegers for these kids every year.
So from there, they spend the whole night together. Nothing happens. They hug at the end of the night. But I think she called him basic at first.
Yeah.
And she tells her dad everything, but it was kind of like it was something different. He was just being himself. You know, he wasn't trying to be super smart or here's my money or any of this stuff. He was just being himself. And it was probably different for her when someone was just like themselves around her and made her laugh, and he wasn't clingy. One of the questions I had is, so the one character, his friend that is the musician, she writes a song. Do you remember how many songs she had written about Joe?
60 some.
She's written 65 songs. 65. They're all about you. They're all about pain. So what's up?
About this guy who she had dated and was in love with. He cheated on her. And she went into this depression. She tried to kill herself. I was like, what is Rod's favorite song about Joe?
God,
I was like,
man.
God. And he said he kept her CD or her tape because she was going to be famous someday.
She's very talented, you know? Dude, why do you think I keep her tapes? It's gonna be valuable someday.
No. Never.
And then tried to sleep with her at the end of the night because the girl he was dating was going away to college.
So he was the same guy, though, during graduation that was singing that song like really badly.
Because the greatest love of all is happening to me.
The greatest love of all.
And it just kind of goes from there. They fall in love. They start to go out more often. He meets her dad and some other people, kind of fails at that because he says he wants to be a kickboxer. And then it gets to a point where her dad gets in trouble. The IRS is coming and looking at what he's doing. She works at the nursing home, so she gets Lloyd to go to the nursing home, even though he doesn't like old people. I mean, they had a cell phone, not a nice house, but a kind of nice house. And Lloyd's parents are in the military, so they're not really around.
Yeah, they're in Europe from what it sounds like. So he lives with his sister and her son.
Yeah, his dad wants him to go in the military, of course. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to be a kickboxer. But once you find out her dad's swindling this money, she gets overwhelmed. She's going away for a fellowship.
England.
Yeah, in England. So she's only got 16 weeks left. So she's torn. Do I spend time with my dad? Do I spend time with Lloyd? Now my dad's in trouble. Do I need to be here for him? So they end up breaking up. And it's really hard I feel like more on Lloyd. It's super hard on her because they have sex.
Yeah.
Or I think they tell each other before that they love each other.
And I don't think she realizes how much she misses him until her dad goes away.
Yeah. Well, she finds out her dad was doing what he said he wasn't. He lied to her.
Which they say they never lie to each other. So
at 14, she had to pick where to live. Do I live with my mom or do I live with my dad? And she chose her dad. And she even goes to her mom and says, say something nice about him. So they break up and Lloyd's just a mess. I mean, he's in the rain. He's crying in the phone booth. He's hanging out with the guys at the gas station.
So that little like 12 or 10-year-old.
Bitches, man.
You gonna give that kid a comp?
Hey, dude, I better bail.
Later for you, Luke.
You know, sucking on a sucker while the rest of them were drinking. And
Was that Jeremy Piven?
He's one of those guys,
One of
yeah.
those guys, yeah.
He was the drunk dude at the kegger who kept jumping around.
Oh, was that him? I couldn't tell. You
Yeah.
only see like because he's jumping, he's grabbing him, he's wrestling with him. That was probably the most comedic part of the film because I think he says, "I fell in love with a girl once," and they're all like, "Man, you're bringing us down."
Yeah.
And Lloyd gets mad and throws a beer bottle, and they all, kind of scatter.
Yeah, I just love John Cusack movies, though. I don't know if I've seen a bad John Cusack movie.
This isn't going to be for everybody because this is pretty much a straight drama love story. There's a little bit of comedy in there, but it's mostly a drama, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's mostly drama. My only gripe about this movie was closer to the ending. It felt like it slowed down.
Yeah, it got super slow.
And I was a little disappointed with the boombox scene because it wasn't as big of a scene as I thought it was going to be.
The light, the heat, I am complete. See the doorway.
Because he gets ignored basically for that.
I felt like that was a longer scene too, and I don't know, maybe they've cut it down or edited it somehow. We don't know. I don't own it on physical media that I know of. It might be in a box somewhere. I know they've cut some other movies that we know. I don't know why they would cut that part, but who knows? But yeah, it's that scene, most people do. It seems like it's a 2 or 3 minute scene, and it's like 30 seconds in the movie.
Yeah, because I mean, it's mostly him out there holding the boombox, and then she's just in bed, kind of turning around, and she never looks out the window, which I thought was what was going to happen, but evidently not.
Yeah, she just kind of ignores him. It's a super sad movie, especially being a parent and a father of a daughter, that you would hope they could grow up and tell you anything. And I think at one point when she's arguing with her dad, once she finds out, I think she says, "Say anything." And,
Yeah.
I think that kind of where the name of the movie comes from is even when you're wrong and you've made mistakes, just say anything. Just say something.
I thought it was something to do with she could say anything to him,
And I mean, maybe she wants that from him. Say anything.
and he held back.
Yeah. At first, you're like, maybe he isn't doing it. But, then his card gets declined. He's hanging out in the shower, kind of knowing that he's going to get caught. So her dad is guilty. He's fined. He's sent to prison. He's a freaking prick to John Cusack when he's in prison. I was like, where's Andrew Diethoff when you need him to come and be
Yeah.
like the wishmaster in prison?
Is that your wish, sir? That's my order. I tell you what my wish is. I'm all ears.
And just rude. And he gives him a note, and then she shows up. I wish it would have ended with just her and him walking away in the prison.
Because the flight scene was just
Yeah, too long.
kind of boring. It was like,
Yeah, just too much. But I guess it kind of cements the fact that he's there for her and she knows that, and he's going to be there for her. And he doesn't need to be rich or famous or successful. He can just be Lloyd. She's going to do all of those things. Sometimes people need that. The one person can be all of those things and the other person can be that person's rock.
did you have any trivia on this?
Yeah, did you?
Go ahead.
Peter Gabriel's In Your Eyes almost wasn't used for the film. Cameron Crowe originally wanted a Fishbone song for the boombox scene. I was like, Fish? I think I vaguely know the band. And then he wrote the script in just 3 weeks and decided to direct it himself, making his directorial debut at 31 years old. So he's awful young there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, the iconic boombox scene. It was filmed separately from Ione Sky's reaction shot and was almost cut entirely from the films. So they almost cut it from the film, but that's what this film's known for.
It's like the big scene.
And of course, Lloyd was inspired by Crowe his teenage years. So it made it seem and feel more realistic because he knew who he was and what he was and as a teenager. So he was like, this is who I was. So it made people feel, like he was just a normal person. I feel like that's missing in a lot of movies nowadays that maybe back in the 80s wasn't.
That they're impersonal.
Yeah, that they're impersonal because somebody's so pretty and so funny and so happy and all these things now, and that's just not realistic.
Right.
And it was ranked number 11 on Entertainment Weekly's 50 best high school movies and continues to influence pop culture to this day.
You had anything else?
The soundtrack, In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel, Within Your Reach by The Replacements, All for Love, which was Nancy Wilson of Heart, and it was Crow's then girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, they didn't play the songs for a long time, but I had the subtitles on so you could see the songs, and I was like, this is actually a really good soundtrack. It was better than the fucking song in The Graduate that just kept playing over and over and over again. So that's all I had for trivia.
Just a few other things. The line, I gave her my heart and she gave me a pen, was voted number 73 of the 100 greatest movie lines by Premiere Magazine in 2007. The dojo featured in the movie was actually the one used in Karate Kid in 1984. And Gene Siskel and Robert Ebert both gave this a very enthusiastic thumbs up.
Wow.
Which is very unusual for those two assholes.
Yeah, they hated Friday the 13th.
Yeah. And the last thing that I found kind of interesting was Ione Skye. She had gotten a divorce from her first husband in 1999, and she evidently had a crush on John Cusack. And she talks about it in a memoir that just came out sometime this year. She calls it Say Everything.
Wow.
She revealed that they hooked up. So she allowed Cusack to read a draft of her memoir. After he read it, he said, "You made the experience sound so meh." And it wasn't meh for me. And she was like, I'm telling a story, and it was more about how all of our chemistry was in our working together and stimulating each other's minds, not sleeping together. And she added with some laughing, and then she says, I felt a little bad, but oh well. So she had a thing for him for a long time.
And I'm looking at her IMDb, and I don't see a lot of big name stuff. She was in quite a few TV shows, but this is probably the biggest movie she's been in. I was trying to see the movies. She was in 4 Rooms.
Yeah, small role.
Say Anything, Fever Pitch, The River's Edge, some episodes of some TV shows, but nothing like major. It has a weird kind of attractiveness to her, though.
Her teeth are kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
But still kind of like, oh, that's kind of hot, though.
Yeah. I think maybe because she's just, again, a normal person. She comes off as the valedictorian that would just be someone you went to school with.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Should we rate this?
Rate it? You want to go first.
Oh, okay. I'll go.
This is the first time for watch for you. You go first. I could see the enthusiasm in your eyes.
Yeah, I've seen it twice. I had to watch it twice because I needed to get a better perspective on it. The first time, the ending kind of ruined it for me, but watching it again, I picked up on things that I really liked. I liked the party interaction. I loved the little like comments that Diane and him would make to each other. It was just kind of cute. I'd give this a 3.5 out of 5 boomboxes.
Boomboxes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 4.75.
Wow.
If the ending was her walking away from the jail with her dad after giving him a hug, it would be a 5. But I'm going to be a 4.75 out of 5 songs about Joe. I love this film. Not sure why. It just sits with me kind of like a film that it's going to come out later in the year. I don't know when it'll come out. We've recorded it, but it's kind of like On Golden Pond. I was in the right mood when I watched it the first time, and it's just kind of got a special place in my heart. Another one that's like that is Charlotte's Web. One day I can just remember being at home, relaxing, and Charlotte's Web, the cartoon, was on. And it was just like one of those days that was, for some reason, a day I remember. It was a great day. I couldn't tell you why, but
a lot of these older movies that we like because we seen them when we were younger, you almost have to have seen them back then, because when you watch it nowadays and you didn't watch it back then, it doesn't resonate.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get those memories of when you first saw it. It's just, oh, it's a John Cusack movie. And I mean, it's good, but yeah, I bet it definitely resonated with you a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Evidently.
Yeah, it'd be like Better Off Dead, which you've seen, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably feel better to you than this one, because you've seen it and it's fun, and I want my $2.
$2 plus tip.
Gee, Johnny, I don't have a dime. Sorry.
Didn't ask for a dime. $2.
What do we do now? Send it to the podcast network?
No, we do a little this or that.
Oh, recommendations. Oh, you can give me $2. I'll tell you what I recommend.
Put it on my tab.
At number 5 from 2000, Almost Famous. Yeah, a 15-year-old aspiring rock journalist hits the road with an up-and-coming band, learning hard truths about fame, love, and growing up in the 70s rock scene.
And Cameron Crowe wrote and directed that
Yep.
because it was about his life. He was that kid.
He was that kid. Damn.
Yeah.
At number 4 from 1989, Dead Poets Society. A charismatic English teacher inspires a group of prep school boys to seize the day and think for themselves while confronting pressures from parents and tradition.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Yep. Number 3 from 1984, 16 Candles. On her 16th birthday, Samantha feels invisible as her family forgets her big day. But through mishaps and awkward moments, she finds her own voice and unexpected romance. I think I shared something from that today on my Facebook page. It said, what movie is this? And someone said 16 Candles. So I posted a picture of Long Duck Dong.
Oh, no more Yankee, my wanky. The donga need food.
From 1967, The Graduate. Yeah, recent college graduate. Benjamin Braddock drifts aimlessly into an affair with an older woman, only to fall for her daughter, leading to one of cinema's most iconic love triangles. Jeez. Benjamin.
Yeah.
And number 1, Rebel Without a Cause from 1955. A troubled teenager, James Dean, moves to a new town and forms intense connections with 2 misfit teens while struggling against authority, family dysfunction, and emotional isolation.
I definitely need to still check that one out.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that one either.
I only had 2 that I thought were pretty similar. One was with John Cusack, his High Fidelity from 2000, where he's a record store owner and he makes lists about everything. And then a movie called Some Kind of Wonderful from 1987 is about a young tomboy gal, Watts. She finds her feelings for her best friend Keith run deeper than just friendship when he gets a date with the most popular girl in school. You know who else was the most popular girl in school?
Not me.
Our podcast network, the PFPN, the Prescribed Films Podcast
Well,
Network.
they sure wasn't the prettiest.
No.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal: providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
So now we've heard from our podcast, and now it's time for the news with Rod.
And on April 8th, Miguel Felix Gallardo is arrested in Mexico and charged with kidnapping, murder of a DEA agent, Enrique Camarena, and drug trafficking and other crimes. But he worked for the cartels. He was actually known as El Jefe, the boss of bosses, or the El Jefe de Jefe, and eventually was convicted. But yeah, he kidnapped a DEA officer and tortured him. It's kind of scary, like what some people can do.
It probably wasn't even him that did it. It was probably somebody he paid to do it, but they could pin it on him and finally, get him in jail or wherever they did with him.
And on April 19th of that year, big story, Central Park 5 is what they called this story. It was a violent rape of a jogger, Trisha Melly, in New York City Central Park. Now, from what I found about this story is that there was like 30 to 40 teenagers who went in the Central Park that evening, and they were just beating people up, robbing people. So 5 teenagers were wrongfully convicted, and they spent 6 to 12 years in prison. There was a Netflix miniseries called When They See Us that came out later on, and it kind of highlighted this whole story. A lot of them eventually got out because they were exonerated. It wasn't until like 2002 when they all got out. The girl never once said that these were the boys that did it. I think she got so brutally beaten. She was in a coma for quite a while. And so she had no clue what happened besides that she knew she was beaten and raped.
Yeah, I think that Netflix series came out last year or the year before. So
yeah, it sounded like it was very recent. And then my last story, which is a little more lighthearted, April 23rd, wine merchant William Sokolin, he breaks a bottle of a 1787 Chateau wine, possibly belonging to Thomas Jefferson. And what it was worth was probably $500,000. Because of insurance, they only paid $225,000. But yeah, this happened in a restaurant in New York. So
he was taking it to like serve it to somebody?
I don't know. It never got more into it. It's just
That's like 200-year-old wine. Who the hell
Yeah.
want to drink? Is it awful?
I don't know. They say aged wine is the best, but
Well, yeah, but like 5 to 10, 20 years, not 200 years. Lord.
Next, I got the movies of that time in the top 10 movies, starting with number 10, The Rescuers. It was re-release of the 1977 animated film. Number 9, Fletch Lives, which is the sequel to Fletch. Number 8 was called Dead Calm. It had Nicole Kidman and Sam Neill, and then Billy Zane as the villain. Number 7, Van Damme makes his mark in Cyborg. Number 6 was called Disorganized Crime. Now, this had a shitload of freaking actors that were fairly popular because they had Hoyt Axton, who was the father from Gremlins, who made all the gadgets, Corbin Burnson, Fred Gwynn from the Munsters, Ed O'Neill, Lou Diamond Phillips, and then Daniel Roebuck. It was like a bank robbery movie.
Interesting.
Number 5 was Rain Man.
Teamwork sucks. I see.
Number 4 is She's Out of Control with Tony Danza and Amy Dolenz, where it was a dollar having a makeover or some weird shit. Then number 3, Say Anything. Number 2 was The Dream Team with Michael Keaton, Christopher Lloyd, Peter Boyle, and Stephen Furst.
That's where they escaped the
mental asylum.
Yeah, mental asylum. Yeah.
It's great to be young and insane.
And then number 1, Major League.
Oh, baseball with the late great Bob Uecker.
Hello, Tribe fans. Welcome back to Major League Baseball. Sort of.
Only one little story for movies. April 21st was the world premiere of Field of Dreams, which is set in Dubuque, Iowa.
If you build it, he will come.
Thought it was set in the middle of a cornfield in Iowa.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I am still at Dubuque.
Is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. And the gas is cheaper. Enjoy it.
That's right. And then just a few horror movies of April of '89. You had Pet Sematary came out.
The original Pet Sematary.
Yeah, the original Pet Sematary, yeah. House 3, a.k.a. the horror show. And then you had I, Madman, which I've never seen.
Oh, we covered 2 of those on the I Like It Spooky Horror podcast. We covered I, Madman and Pet Sematary. We covered Pet Sematary? I feel like we have. If not, we've talked about it a ton.
And then Witch Trap.
Which one? Isn't there like witch? Maybe that's witchcraft where there's like 18 of them. TV news?
Yeah, TV news.
Some of the top TV shows of that time were, of course, The Cosby Show. Pretty big groundbreaking show at the time. Middle class African-American family. A lot of humor and, just personal stuff from the oldest son who just passed away this previous month.
Yeah, Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yeah, passed away drowning. I think only 54, too young. It's kind of disappeared off the radar because of what Bill Cosby's done, which is sad for the rest of the people in the show because they were all great at what they did. Roseanne, A Different World, which was a spinoff of The Cosby Show that was students at a historically black college. Cheers, 60 Minutes, Golden Girls, Who's the Boss, Empty Nest, Anything But Love, which I didn't know that one. It was a romantic comedy relationship between a journalist and a writer. Empty Nest, I remember because it was a pediatrician. He was widowed and his 2 adult daughters living in Miami, and they had left the house. The one that kind of sticks out is Murder, She Wrote, because all the others are kind of family shows or, family comedies or comedies, and Murder, She Wrote is not that. For some news, Cheers was approaching the end of its 7th season with fans buzzing about upcoming plot twists involving Sam and Diane's complicated relationship. So it'd be the season finale and what's going to happen with Sam.
I knew you'd come back. You did? You can never be unfaithful to your one true love. You always come back to her.
MTV's influence is expanding at this time.
This is Joe Perry and
Mr. Steven Tyler, and you're watching MTV, yeah.
increasing youth with culture, especially with shows like Yo MTV Raps gaining traction. I mean, it was changing how music was viewed and how television interacted and intersected with TV. And we talked about on Salute the Shorts how music videos used to be short films, So now it's MTV. I mean, the first song they played was Video Killed the Radio Star, and it's about a radio star being on video, and they're so damn ugly that no one wants to listen to their music. This is the way I take it.
Yeah.
Just a syndication boom in the 80s and cable TV growth. So a lot of shows, especially the shows I listed, would end up in syndication where you could watch them over and over again. And it was just growing. Shows like Star Trek The Next Generation were coming on where it was on different channels at different times. It wasn't on CBS at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock on a Thursday. It would be on CBS, this channel, at 9 o'clock on a Friday. And this other channel would be 1 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. So it was syndicated. It was across, different platforms. And that led to shows like Xena Warrior Princess, Renegade, Hercules. What was the one where Bruce Campbell was a cowboy that was on?
Briscoe County Jr.
Yeah. So just a lot of that kind of stuff was coming around at that time. Just a different time because now everything's streaming, so you can watch it whenever you want. But that was not what was going on at these times.
No.
What else you got?
I got music. Number 1 in the U.S. was She Drives Me Crazy by Fine Young Cannibals.
That guy's voice. It's definitely different, but after a while, you're like, okay, we get it.
He had a part in the TV series called Highlander, which was another one of
that
those
was
shows
syndicated, yeah.
And you could watch on USA. Number 1 in the UK was Eternal Flame by the Bangles.
Am I only dreaming, or is this burning and eternal?
Number 1 country is I'm No Stranger to the Rain by Keith Whitley. It's actually one of my favorite Keith Whitley songs.
Really? Don't listen to that one. Can you play some of it for us?
I'll play a little bit of it.
I'm no stranger to the rain. I'm a friend of thunder. Friend, is it any wonder?
Number 1 R&B was Every Little Step by Bobby Brown. The number 1 alternative, Mayor of Simpleton by XTC. I have no clue.
No clue. But I know the Bobby Brown one.
Number 1 Dance Like a Prayer by Madonna is when they did the little remix of it.
That caused a lot of controversy when that came out from the church. Yeah. Wasn't there a black Jesus in it that was crying? And yeah. Madonna got in a lot of trouble with the church, but I don't think she'd give a shit.
No. A couple other things. On April 10th was the 24th Academy of Country Music Awards. Entertainer of the Year was Hank Williams Jr. Album of the Year was This Woman by KT Oslin. She also won the female vocalist. The male vocalist was George Strait. And top vocal group, Highway 101. And top vocal duo, the Judds. And then April 12th was the 3rd Soul Train Music Awards. The Soul Train.
I was going to say, you got to say it. Soul Train.
I love it when this comes up because, that's what I think of every time. Some of the winners of the Sammy Davis Jr. Award that we're hearing about more now that we go back to these movies and stuff was Michael Jackson, of course. Best R&B or Urban Contemporary Album of the Year was, for male, was Bobby Brown for Don't Be Cruel. And the female was Anita Baker for Giving You the Best That I Got.
Oh, Bobby Brown. He was not married to Whitney Houston at this time, I don't
think they got married until the 90s.
What's next? Sports news?
Sports.
Oh, in sports. April 15th, 1989. I feel like this has come up before. The Hillsborough disaster, one of the most tragic events in sports industry, occurred during an FA Cup semifinal match between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest in Sheffield, England. A fatal crush in the overcrowded stands led to 96 people dying and hundreds being injured, promoting major changes in stadium safety and crowd control worldwide. The 1989 NBA playoffs are kicking off in April with teams like the Pistons and Lakers as favorites. Highly competitive, setting the stage for the Pistons' eventual championship win. I think that was the Bad Boys. And then the Stanley Cup playoffs are kicking off with intense matchups. The Calgary Flames and Montreal Canadiens were key contenders, with the Calgary Flames winning the championship that year. I think that's the last time maybe a Canadian team has won. I'd have to look a little bit closer, but
Oh, wow.
it's been a long time. And then in April of 1989, the WWE, then WWF champion was Macho Man Randy Savage. He won the championship on April 2nd by defeating Hulk Hogan in the highly celebrated main event. So I saw something today because Hulk Hogan's passed away around the time of this recording for us, that like the first 10 WrestleManias, there's not one person alive from the main event.
Oh,
like
yeah.
there's like half of them, no one's alive from the main event, and half only one person's alive from the main event. Because Macho Man's passed, now Hulk Hogan's passed, Andre the Giant's passed. I mean, a lot of them.
Warrior.
Yeah, Warriors passed. So I know Hulk Hogan used to say your prayers, eat your vitamins, listen to your parents. But he should have said, don't do steroids.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
God, yeah. I mean, I don't even know if Bret Hart headed one until after the 10th one.
I don't know either. Yeah, I'd have to look. But yeah, I was just like, Jesus, criminally. And you and I have talked about this a lot. You may not agree with Hulk Hogan, his stance, but he was significant to wrestling and importance to culture and wrestling and making it what it is today. Without him, it may not be where it is today.
Never would have been, no way.
He was just, at that time, a lot of kids looked up to him. So
Right.
John Cena wouldn't be who he is today without probably Hulk Hogan. The Rock wouldn't be who he is probably without Hulk Hogan, because he may not have opened those doors for, wrestlers to get into Hollywood. I mean, none of his movies are really good. No Holds Barred is
No.
probably his best one, but
Yeah.
even that's not that good. But yeah, it's just significant. And I kind of given you an idea of what has happened the week we're recording this. We record a little bit earlier so we can kind of bank some episodes, get them in, get them out. Because I mean, I do another podcast. We do YouTube stuff. We do appendages. We do a lot of Facebook stuff. But it's just been a rough couple weeks with Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne, Malcolm Majal Warner. There's a famous trumpet player that passed away. God,
Yeah.
why can't I think of his name? I've looked it up several damn times. He was on King of the Hill. Did you see that? Several times. No one at my work really knew who he was but me. But I was like, he was on King of the Hill, and he had that song that the song if you hear it. It was an instrumental. It's pretty much all the trumpet playing. It was a trumpet, wasn't it?
Yeah, Chuck Mangione.
Yeah, Mangione, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I heard that name so many times, but I never put the face to it. But should we talk about toys next?
Yeah, let's talk about some toys. Of course, in 1989, the original Super Soaker was first introduced. High-powered water gun, summer favorite. I mean, if your parents could afford a Super Soaker or liked you enough that they bought you one, you had it and you were spraying all your friends because they'd have like the little ones that would like squirt like 3 times and run out of water. Masters of the Universe, He-Man was super popular then, and it's probably maybe even more popular now. I mean, hell, every time you go to Target or Walmart or anywhere, there's He-Man, He-Man Ninja Turtles, He-Man this. I mean, it's crossed with all these things, pop figures and toys. My Little Pony, which is popular. Finley has some My Little Ponies, and there's bronies running around everywhere. You know what a brony is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys who like My Little Pony.
Transformers, another one that's super popular and got, I think, even maybe more popular with the release of the movies. And we have friends that love Transformers. They talk Transformer talk, and they're like, oh, G1. I'm like, that's got to mean Generation 1, but whatever. And then probably the one that's, I don't know. The Nintendo NES was super popular at this time. Everybody that had money had one. We didn't have money and we didn't have one. So I went to a friend's house and played Nintendo. But I tell my son, yeah, we used to play video games when I was younger, but we'd play them when it was past dark, raining, or too cold to go outside. We didn't play them all day, every day. Probably my favorite one that I can remember. There was a couple that I liked that not a lot of people know. I did like Kung Fu, the original. There was one that was like Surf and Turf, where it was like a surfing and you could skateboard.
Was it like a gorilla? Or?
Yeah, it was a gorilla. And then there was one that was a side scroller where you were like fighting a gang. It wasn't Double Dragon, but you could like go into little shops and buy things. And
I remember, was it Pro Wrestling?
Where the guy had the star on his face.
Star on his face. He was pink and he had the blue star.
Yeah, Starman. Yeah.
Starman, yeah.
Yeah. Just fun. And you can, Jaws was another one I really liked. Yeah, where you would go around in a little boat and you'd wreck and then it would throw you in the water and you'd have to shoot all the jellyfish and stuff, and then Jaws would come. Never could beat that damn game.
No,
Yeah.
impossible.
No. So what do you think?
I've got 2 weddings and a birth, and then my favorite segment. But the wedding, April 29th, John Bon Jovi, lead singer of Bon Jovi, at 27 weds high school sweetheart Dorothy Hurley. She was 26 at Graceland Chapel in Las Vegas, Nevada. They are still married and they have 4 children. He seemed like always a loyal kind of guy, though. I never really heard any stories about
No, he didn't. Yeah.
April 30th, actor and comedian Robin Williams weds his nanny, Marcia Garces, at a private ceremony in Lake Tahoe, California. They would later divorce in 2010, but they had 2 children, and one of them is pretty important in the entertainment world. It was Zelda Williams. She's a director of Lisa Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
Nepo baby. And one birth. I only had one, and I don't know if many people are going to know this. Avi Kaplan. He was an American pop bass vocalist for the Pentatonics band. He was born in California, but now it's time for 6 Feet Under with Rod.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Maybe 6 feet is so far down.
And on April 12th, Sugar Ray Robinson, American boxer who's a welterweight champion from 46 to 51, middleweight champion from 51 to 52, 55, and then 58 again. He died of Alzheimer's disease at 67. And on April 21st, Princess Deoki of Korea, she was the last princess of the Korean Empire. She died at 76. And April 30th, Sergio Leone, he's an Italian film director. He invented the spaghetti westerns, kind of. He did a trilogy. He had A Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, and then the final was The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. He died of a heart attack at 60. But the last one, and probably the most important, was on April 26. Lucille Ball, American comedian and actress from I Love Lucy, dies of a heart attack at 77.
Goodbye. Lucy, what's the matter, honey?
I've done it again. Chalk up another boo-boo.
And when she got to heaven, Ricky said, Lucy, you got some splaining to do. I don't know if he died first or not, but...
One last thing, I got a joke, or a couple jokes. Why did the cute couple end up in prison?
No, hard telling.
They stole each other's hearts.
Oh, God. Give me something funny.
Why should you never laugh at your spouse's choices? Because you're one of them.
No, Lord. You bought a new dad book joke book?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, if you like John Cusack and you've never seen Say Anything, I feel like we talked about earlier, it's probably not one that's on most people's radar of top John Cusack movies, but I really enjoy this one. Someday we'll have to cover Better Off Dead. We've lived in the 80s quite a bit lately. We're trying to maybe get out of the 80s here in a little bit, maybe get into the 90s and 2000s, or I don't know. So we have some ideas on what we're going to cover next. I think we have nailed down what we're going to cover for Halloween, and that's in the 90s, and that's, I feel like, a favorites at my house. It's a Disney movie, and it has to deal with Halloween, so that give you some idea. I mean, yeah, then we'll have Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then it'll be 2026. One of the things that Rod and I talked about, and if you're listening, shoot us a message on our social media and tell us what you think about this idea. Theming our episodes next year. January doing something, February doing something, March, April, so on and so forth, and theming to where the movies have a common theme each month. And maybe doing, the Summer of Love, but maybe doing the Summer of Love just in June or July, and then theming the other months.
Yeah, not just like action or
no
comedy. We want something a little tighter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't even know. Maybe we could do 2 Harrison Ford films. Who knows? Something along those lines, or, something that maybe has a car in it, just something off the wall, just a little different. We'll kind of ask some ideas too as time comes around. What are some ideas of some things that you're like, I want to see 2 movies with buses in them or something like that, or 2 movies about rock bands or 2 movies about movie theaters or, just anything like that. 2 movies about twins, or, who knows? Because we could do twins and we could do multiplicity.
Yep.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe movies about angels. We could, the John Travolta movie and
Nicolas Cage with City of Angels.
Yeah, City of Angels. We could do movies named Mask. We could do the one with Cher and the one with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
That would be fun, right?
Yeah, let us know. Come on, people.
Yeah, let us know what you think. And we'll catch you next time. Hold up your boom box and blare in your eyes. That's a great song.
And Clint, until next time.
That marks the end of our broadcast day here at The Wrong Podcast Died. Our transmission is powered by a frequency of 800 watts. We will resume our usual programming in 2 weeks. Until then, we bid you good night.